What do you mean? I mean, that's what I've always called it. Called what? The stick that I carry around. I mean, I call it a little dick. Oh, you call the stick you have a dick. Yeah, what else would I call it? I thought you were talking about like your Johnson, your member, your twig and berries. What the fuck are you talking about? I thought you were talking about your penis. What? No. He pulls out the stick. It looks like a straight up dick. Okay. I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, sir. My stick, Richard. How do you get dick from Richard? You ask. So, actually, funny story about that joke. I thoroughly never heard that joke before. Not until one of my friends, whose nickname was Richard. I mean, not nickname was Richard. Nickname was Dick. I didn't know his name was anything else. And then one day I find out that his name was actually Richard. And I was like, Richard, why the fuck do you go by Dick? He's like, what? And it's like, how do you get Dick from Richard? And he looked at me and goes, did you just set yourself up for that joke? And I was like, what joke? He goes, I mean, you just had to ask nicely. And I just sat there for a second. I was like, is he coming on to me? And then I realized, oh, it's a fucking joke. Died a little bit on the inside, but you know. I'm not a traitor, but if you look in the eyes, if you look one in the eyes, prepare to battle. Wait, is she actually battling me? My name's Richard, but my friends call me Dick. Kids can't be. Roll. Yeah. So straight up, the first thing I thought was as everybody knows, I am a father of two. And the one thing that really concerned me about being a father was making sure not to name my children something that people can make fun of in school. And then I realized something. That's fucking impossible. Kids have this innate wonder about them, like innate brain cell that they can make up anything and make it sound horrendous. Like your name can be straight up God or something like that, and the kids will come and be like, "Oh, look at you! Your name's God of ass." Oh, and you're like, "What the fuck?" Or your name could be A, just straight A. If somebody comes up, oh, would you look at that fucking alphabet ass? Like, what? Kids are so fucking cruel. They're like little tiny drunks. They're ungodly truthful too. Okay, so quick story time. Whenever I was in high school, I was sitting there, minding my own business during lunch, and for some odd reason, they brought in elementary school kids into the high school. Don't fucking know why, but they thought it was a good idea back in the day. So this one little kid, while I'm eating and I'm drinking my chocolate milk, walks up to me, looks me dead in the eye, and let's be honest here, it's a little child of the Caucasian background, aka it was a white little boy. And I happen to be of darker complexion, aka fucking black. And this kid looks at me and goes, "Why are you that color?" And I was like, what the fuck? How do you start off a conversation like this? But you know what? Little kid, I'm gonna humor him. So I looked in my hand, and the thing that was in my hand was the chocolate milk. So I looked at the kid, I looked at the chocolate milk, and I looked at the kid, and I was like, well, actually, what I do is I drink chocolate milk, and that's how I stay black. The more chocolate milk you drink, the blacker you get. And this kid looks at me and goes, huh, neat. And then he proceeds to walk into the cafeteria, double fisting fucking chocolate milk. And I was like, dude, fucking get it, man. I probably gave this kid like some sort of condition where I hope that he was lactose intolerant, because he would have been shitting himself the entire time. But I bet your buddy, he went home and like Dad, can I have like a gallon of chocolate milk? The dad's like, why the fuck do you want a gallon of chocolate milk? He's like, I'm trying to be black. Oh, fucking perfect. It honestly made my day. But that was not the funniest one. Okay, so there was one time that my father, he used to be a gymnastics coach. So I was a gymnastics kid. Oh my god, just fucking bell sprout. Okay. Continuing. But I did gymnastics for like 10, almost 12 years. So, I was like, you know what? Just gonna go to the gym with my dad after school, all that fun jazz. God damn it. But whenever I went to the gym and everything like that, turns out that there was something that happened. I can't even fucking remember what it was. But I had to go home with one of the other teachers. So they dropped me off at home. And while I was in the vehicle, there was a girl that I knew from school and her little sister. So we were driving back, and the little sister just staring me down. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Okay, whatever. And the little girl finally chimes in while I was talking to my friend. I think her name was Izzy. And goes, are you Hispanic? And I looked over at this probably about, 4-year-old, maybe 4 or 5-year-old. And I was like, no, I am not. And she goes, then why are you proud? And the mom, I could feel the eyes of the mom drilling holes into her from the front while she's driving. And then she goes, you can't ask. And then I was like, oh, no, don't worry. I got this. I looked over at her and I was like, so you want to know why I am the color that I am? And she goes, uh-huh. And I looked at her and I was like, so when a mommy and daddy love each other very much, and whenever I stated that, I could feel the eyes of judgment and fury go from the child to me. And I could feel you better not fucking say what I think you're about to say. And I was like, oh, you don't have any idea what I'm about to say, girlfriend. And I was like, they call the stork. And I felt the weight of anger and disappointment lifted. But then don't worry, I brought that motherfucker right back down on my shoulders. Because immediately after that, I was like, so the stork, after you call them, they come by and drop the baby down the chimney. And I saw confusion in the mom's eyes and also my friend Izzy's eyes. And I was like, so here's the deal. Whenever they drop them down the chimney, if you don't clean the chimney, you're going to have a black baby. If you're going to clean the chimney, you're going to have a little white baby. And she was like, what happened to you? And I was like, my dad half cleaned the chimney. And, oh my god, I straight up swear the mom just sat there, mouth agape, and the daughter was trying to not laugh, and the little girl was like, huh, neat. I was like, oh my god. And don't worry, whenever I got home, apparently that teacher told my dad. My dad's like, you can't go around fucking saying that to kids. And I was like, why not? They asked me a stupid question, I'm gonna give them a stupid answer. It's not my fault that their parents didn't teach them proper. Oh, good lord. Oh, good times. Good times. But don't worry, I still use both of those quite often whenever people come up and ask me. My favorite one is whenever people come up to me and they're like, so, are you black? I'm like, no, actually, I am a reverse albino. And they just look at me for a second. I was like, what? What the fuck does that even mean? I don't understand. It is quite fun. It's quite fun. Oh damn! I gained. Also, we evolved. In between this whole entire fucking story, we evolved. I'm still trying to find this goddamn Bellsprout. Fuck. At this point, I am about to murder every single one of these motherfuckers until I get a Bellsprout. Burning you alive sounds good to me. Burn, baby, burn. Light it on fire. Burn, baby, burn. Oh. And you know what I also used to do on some live streams? I was like, you know, you could ask me any question and I will answer it. And I am not going to tell you that I'm not going to answer it stupidly. Because I probably 9 times out of 10 will answer it in the most stupid fashion. And you're going to sit there and be like, what the fuck was that? And I'm going to be like, you know what? Sorry. Not sorry. Whew. And also, speaking on fun times, being of the darker complexion. So there was one time, it was about, 3 weeks after my son was born. Literally 3 weeks after my son was born. And I was coming back to work. The first fucking day I come back to work, I straight up, yes, valid. My favorite go-to is the son hated me at birth. It's the son from fucking Digital Circus. But, it was 3 weeks after my son was born. And I went to work. I worked at a comic book shop. So I walked in, and I live in a state where there's a constitutional carry. And I'm of the dark complexion, so obviously I have to carry. Go figure. So while I was there, I was carrying around a 380 pistol. And 3 cop cars, after 10 minutes of me being there, my boss was there, catching me back up to speed. 3 cop cars pull up. And they walk up, and they go, "Are you Corey?" And I was like, Yes, my name is Corey. I guess you're here for my boss. She probably had somebody steal something and called you guys, and yeah, she's back there. It's like, oh no, we're here for you. And I was like, okay. And they're like, were you here at last night on blah, blah, blah? I was like, well, I was driving by there. Yes, I was going to Walmart. Why? And they're like, well, we're going to put you in handcuffs and take you down to the station. And I was like, am I being arrested? And they're like, well, you're being detained. And I was like, okay, can I clock out first? So I went over to my boss, clocked out, told her that I was getting arrested. And apparently, mind you, after they put me in handcuffs, patted me down in front of the business that I was working at, mind you, and took me down to the fucking station. The detective who came back and told my boss was like, hey, I'm pretty sure we got the guy. Turned out they were picking me up because they thought that I shot a guy at Qdoba. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? So, needless to say, he came up and told my boss, I think we got him. And she laughed in his face and said, you have no fucking idea. Okay. So, yeah. Bear with me on this. So, the night before, we ordered Walmart. Like, Walmart to go. Like, they can, like, deliver and everything. But unfortunately, whenever we hit to deliver, it actually went to pickup. So, I had to hop in the vehicle, drive all the way to Walmart, and pick up the shit. I was with both my roommates at the time. We drove by, and apparently they caught my vehicle on a security camera at a stoplight. And they thought it was me who got out of there and shot a guy at Qdoba. Now, mind you, this stoplight is a couple 100 feet away from this Qdoba. Okay? And with that security camera, you could see that I stopped at the stoplight and continued on. But, you know, I must be Nightcrawler and I teleported out of there. Or I'm the Flash and I just sprinted out of there. But now, here's a more fun thing. So, before they came to the shop that I worked at, They actually went over to the pawn shop I worked at before because the